Because at the end of the day, I actually, as an Atlassian, and it seems a little counterintuitive, I don't want our customers to think about us every day.
Config and cruise from Mark Cruth.
Got it.
Hop in.
How you doing?
You good?
I have so many questions about what's in the back. So many questions.
You're the one with the Mario suit and I'm the one that's being questioned. How's the week so far? Last day of the conference?
Yeah, last day of the conference. It's been a great event. I've really enjoyed, just like every year, I enjoy the interactions with people. You got to connect back up with the partners, the community, fellow Atlassians. It's fantastic, and we've had some great announcements this year too. And so I'm really excited to see what people start doing with some of the stuff we've been talking about this week.
Yeah, this whole Jira software, Jira work management thing. I'm a little bit of a mixed emotions.
Tell me about your mixed emotions with this.
Well, Jira software has a very specific purpose in the world of Agile. And even though it's not explicitly stated, right, this opens up a Pandora's box to a new world of possibilities.
Oh, but you know what? There's those possibilities. Oh, I'm excited for those. Groups like HR, groups like finance, marketing could all benefit from using some of these techniques. And if we're able to really expose them to some of that through kind of bringing together one system, I'm excited. And I think a big thing when it comes to this is that a lot of these teams are already trying it, but just, Jira software in itself, it gave them too much. It made tooling noisy for them.
But that's kind of where the concern is a little bit though, right? Because with Jira work management, or I would say folding into Jira software, because it doesn't look like Jira software became more limited. Rather, Jira work management became more powerful.
Yep.
But one of the biggest concerns that I usually get from teams is like, hey, Jira software is like too much for us. And that's why we kind of like Jira work management. But now it's kind of like stuck in the middle.
Well, the interesting thing, if you really think about it, at the end of the day, Jira work management, Jira software, they all ran off the same engine. It was all the same back end in terms of how that data came together. Yeah. And really it came down to the use cases and the views. And what I'm excited about is that Jira work management, to your point, has some really slick, simple views. And one thing that's going to be nice is that those views will stick around for them.
That's what I'm very excited for.
And your software teams will now have access to the same things. Because honestly, I know you've done stuff with agility teams. I wish I had some of the abilities to get calendar views and to be able to do list views. Like, I love myself a backlog view, but sometimes as like a product owner, I would want to view my data in slightly different ways. And I think that's something that I'm excited about. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, one of my favorite features of Jira Work Management was the forms that we had, those kind of that JSM light kind of version. I can't wait to bring that into my Jira software, because now all of a sudden, when I was a product owner, I would have to come up with some clunky mechanism for my stakeholders to submit ideas. Now I have that built right in if I've got even a software team. I don't have to have a separate Jira Work Management project to do it, and then I move it over. It's all in one place for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. I think you just brought something up that I hadn't considered, which was one of the I think more limiting factors of Jira software was that metrics and reporting. Yeah. You had the dashboards, but you had to get very creative with what you wanted.
Yeah.
But now you're folding in very insightful metrics that Jira Work Management had baked into the tool, now into Jira software. So I think that's going to be pretty game changing.
It's going to be cool.
My hope is that what it does is it reduces the complexity actually of doing any task, because at the end of the day, I actually, as an Atlassian, and it seems a little counterintuitive, I don't want our customers to think about us every day. Because if they're thinking about us while they're using our products, it probably means they're having a bad experience. Right. I want us to just be the same thing as breathing, where it's just, I go to this thing and that's how I do my work. And then we know we've made an impact.
Yeah, and that's usually where I spend a lot of the time, right, trying to make Jira as seamless and as painless as possible. so that it doesn't get in the way. It's not
Yeah.
overhead, right? It's
Yep.
it's just part of the day to day.
It's part of how you work, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm really excited for that I saw on stage that I absolutely loved, because I've been asking for this for a while, was the Loom integration.
Oh my goodness, right?
Specifically the bug tracking portion, because Loom is powerful, but bugs are, I like to say that bugs are Scrum Master's kryptonite.
Oh, yeah.
Or project managers for that matter, right? Because you can come up with the best plan, but the moment you have a bug that you can't figure out, the whole plan goes out the door.
You know, there's so often, you know, you would, when I would work with some of our testers back in the day, you know, the tester would write down their steps. They would attempt to do that. They may even take some screenshots. And then either myself or a developer would come in, try to reproduce it. And we're like, we're not able to reproduce this thing. The whole lead up to that bug, right?
So that bit, but then now being able to transcribe that back into text using AI, it's just, so many things get lost in that telephone game and memory, like, right, you're trying to remember what you saw, and just the video sees it, and you're able to translate.
You know, these are the things that, you know, as Atlassian, we're giant advocates for this idea of distributed work, and this is how we help to enable distributed work, is doing these sorts of things. How do we make the process of sharing information easier when your teams aren't together, when I can't just sit next to the tester and be like, all right, walk me through this,
right?
You know, and I think that's where we take that philosophy and we try to inject it into our products, because we're like, all right, we don't want to make it feel like you have to be there. Like, we want to make it as seamless as possible so you can support whatever kind of work model you want.
Yeah, but going back to my initial concern, like, that's usually where I'm more concerned, right? Because there's that analysis paralysis, and I just feel like one of my biggest concerns, because I'm an administrator 12, 14 hours a day, right? And I like to tell people that the hardest part of my job isn't how to add a status to a workflow or anything like that, but it's figuring out what's the right status, what's the right workflow, how do I help the team become a better team? And now I have more options.
You do. You do.
Honestly, for me, I think the future of the admin is not somebody who is dealing with workflow and status. Honestly, you know who you're going to have to help you with that? You have a Rovo. Right. Rovo is going to do that for you, you know. And I think what that means is admins truly are going to be the folks who are there to help, kind of almost from a business process improvement.
Almost like an architect.
They are. You know what? They're essentially a ways of working architect for an organization, because when someone wants something, it's going to be so easy to add that extra workflow, to do that change. But the problem is when we've seen it for years, when we do that, we never take into context what it is they're trying to accomplish. And so I think it's going to be on our admins, or let's coin this term now, our ways of working architects, to actually figure out, what are you trying to do? How do I craft the right kind of experience that enables both the autonomy of the team, what you need, but also supports the organization?
But that is going to have a cultural impact, not only on the role of the Jira administrator, but just the skill set that you need, because no longer do you need someone that can follow the steps. You're going to need someone that can think deeper. You now need to be a vested party that cares about the mission of the team to help them solutionize, or our coin term, architect, right?
Exactly. Well, and you know what, I think to your point, and this might seem, I don't mean to rub anyone the wrong way with this one, but I think that was part of the problem, is that we said, not my problem. It's not my circus, not my monkeys. Right. You go do that, I'll just give you the tent. The thing is when an admin goes and just implements whatever their customer asks, all of a sudden you get the, if you're familiar with it, the Homermobile. Remember the Homermobile? You know, you get that, you get this monstrosity. I think that's where there's some opportunities for, like, to your point, playbook enablement, also working things like facilitation enablement. We did it was great. We did here at the event, one of my favorite moments was we did a facilitation course. And again, facilitation isn't hard if you know the tools. Just like an admin, if you know the different ways to set up an instance, you can easily do it. And so for us, we had a session that, you know, we were planning on having 20 to 30 people. We had 150 people show up. And, you know, it was a lot of admins. It was people who are thinking proactively about this. Because at the end of the day, facilitation is going to be about helping to connect the dots for somebody in their problem-solving process. And so for me, I think it's teaching our admins how to be good facilitators in these conversations with customers. Just giving them plays in our playbook that will say, hey, you know what, there should be, you know, if a team is saying, oh, we want to build out a space, all right, cool, what are your team trying to do? We're a new team. We need to just start writing stuff down. Well, maybe you should consider doing a team poster, because to help define what it is, and through that process, define what it is that, and like how you want to work. And so for me, I think that's going to be a big thing. And actually, I think it's an opportunity for even a new version of the playbook to come out. Like it is that.
That's kind of what I was trying to hint at.
Yeah, no.
2.0.
Yeah, exactly. We get a 2.0.
We need something deeper, right? Something that's going to be a little bit more philosophical than it is at surface level.
Now, the thing we'll have to do is you get deeper, you get maybe a little bit more honed in a role, but still keep it incredibly practical. Because I think I want to do something where we give it to our admins and they have the ability. It's almost like a career deck.
Yeah,
it's like,
it has to be as easy as 1, 2, 3, but still meaningful enough to move needles.
Yep. Exactly. All of a sudden now they've gone in and...
You guys hiring?
I know, right?
Talking a little bit about roles, your pirate ship has completely changed everything for me in my life.
I love it. I love it.
I'm just sharing this.
You're
with
using the
everybody.
pirate ship game, right?
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Like, what was your initial, just for the record here, what was like the initial, like what was your initial reaction when you first stumbled on it? Like, how did you see success? Did you think it was going to be something?
Yeah, so I absolutely love this pirate ship game, and and it's something where when you do roles and responsibilities, when you got to find that, it can be such a dull activity, I find. And so it was probably 6 years ago, I was looking for a mechanism to help talk about roles and responsibilities a little differently. And the pirate ship game actually wasn't a roles and responsibilities game to begin with when I found it. It was some sort of imagine if you were this role, or imagine if you were this character, what would they feel, stuff like that. And I looked at this thing and I was like, this could be a really good roles and responsibilities exercise. And so I decided to try it with a couple teams I was coaching at the time, and just to kind of go through and say, hey, if you were any one of these numbers on this pirate ship, which one would it be, and why does it represent what you do in your day-to-day job? And it was amazing to see the light bulbs turn on for team members, where they're like, oh, like I'm this, and it got them to share something that they never would have shared before.
It's like a Myers-Briggs test, but like on steroids.
Right?
You get so many different reactions, and it opens up to like, I can work with you in a different way now that I understand how you feel.
Yep.
Because a lot of people just think that work is just, work.
I know.
It's so deeper than that, right?
It's much deeper.
We spend more time with our teammates than we do with our own family sometimes.
We do.
So last question. Hope you enjoyed it, but who would you recommend that we maybe reach out to for a future episode?
Ooh, let's see here. I think some good people to talk to would be looking at the future of how this AI conversation goes. I honestly think...
Well, Sharif is not my new BFF.
Oh, is he? Well, I think you should bring Sharif in this thing. If you can get Sharif to take a ride with you, I think you would be a great
we'll probably schedule
conversation.
it. So Team 25 is in my city.
There you go. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep.
So we'll see if we can schedule something.
Plan it now. You'll get it on his calendar, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great... I'll see you on the show floor.
Sounds good, buddy.
Special thanks to Salto for putting this entire initiative together. Salto is a complete DevOps platform for configuration management for Jira, JSM, and Confluence. It allows teams to automatically copy configurations between sites, whether you're doing sandbox to production or a cloud production to another cloud production. It does it really, really well, and most importantly, very, very easily.